It's time for a tag video! So today's tag is the 7 Deadly Sins of Reading. I saw this on the Readables channel, and I was also tagged by GuitarMilly, so thank you so much for tagging me. I appreciate it so much. And I guess we better just get on with it. So the first one is Greed. What is the most expensive and least expensive book in your collection? This one is called The National History of the British Isles, and I think this is a very, very big book. It's enormous, and I'm assuming it was very expensive. From just a glance at my bookshelf, I'm sure this is the most expensive one. And it's a really good book, actually. There's just so many great pictures in there, and it's just amazing. In terms of the least expensive, I'm not actually sure. I'm kind of guessing the children's books, which are really, really thin, which I got when I was really young. But I'm also going to try and pick a book that I would sort of read now that I got more recently, and that is The London Eye Mystery by Siobhan Dowd. Basically, I got this in school for free. I think in my first year of high school in year 7, we was given a free book, and I chose this one, and it's really, really good. So because it's free, that is obviously my least expensive book. And then we have Wrath. Which author do you have a love/hate relationship with? I'm gonna have to say Suzanne Collins from The Hunger Games, quite simply because the first book was just fabulous. I just thought it was amazing. And then I found that the books sort of got progressively worse, and that was just really bad, to be honest. I just hated that. I didn't really like Mockingjay that much, to be honest. I love her because the first book's so good, and I love the characters and everything. But I would have to say that when a series or a trilogy gets worse, it just really disappoints me, to be honest. So that is why I also have a hate relationship with her. But overall, she's an absolutely amazing writer, so don't be put off. And then it is Gluttony. What book have you deliciously devoured over and over with no shame whatsoever? I have devoured a lot of books in my time. I've read a lot of books because I just read loads. It's hard to pick just one book, but I'm actually going to pick the one which I just picked a second ago, and that is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I love this first book so, so much. I just think it's fabulous and it's just perfect. The others aren't as good, like I mentioned, but this one is just great, and I can't recommend it enough. The film as well is just great as well, and I just love it so much. I mean, there's nothing bad about it. And then I'd also have to say all the Warriors books by Erin Hunter, because again, they're just perfect. I can't fault anything about them. Then it is Sloth. What book have you neglected reading due to laziness? Well, firstly, I wouldn't really like to sort of consider myself as a lazy person, but okay, let's just find some book. Now, I have read all the Harry Potter books, and they do get progressively longer. There is The Order of the Phoenix right here, which is just humongous. I mean, nearly 800 pages. That is just loads. A bit too much for me, actually. Now, I love long books, but I prefer them if they're split into 2 shorter books. I just think it's easier to read, and it doesn't feel like anything drags on or anything. And I do want to reread the Harry Potter books, but the length of them really does put me off, actually. It scares me a bit how long it's actually going to take me to read them. So I guess I'm kind of putting them off towards laziness, but I'm not really sure. Then it is Pride. What book do you talk most about in order to sound like a very intellectual reader? Now, to be honest, I hope all the books I talk about make me sound very intellectual. I hope I always give good information. I hope everything's brought across in a good, concise way. But there are definitely particular ones that really do make me stand out as a reader more. And I think the main one would be Warriors by Erin Hunter. Now, I'm not going to get all the books or even show you the shelf or anything because there's so many of them. I mean, I have like over 40 books of them. They're just so, so good. And I talk about them all the time. Loads of my reviews are Warriors reviews, and I just gush about them all the time because Warriors is a great series, and I'm probably starting to gush right now, but it really is just great, and I talk about them loads. I know so much about Warriors, and I know a lot about the authors, and I just know a lot about it, and I always talk about it, and I hope it makes me sound intellectual. Then the next one is Lust. What attributes do you find most attractive in male or female characters? Now, this is quite a hard one, to be honest. I'm not actually that sure. I like characters that really just stand out to me. I like characters that are very strong, they have strong personalities. That's always good. And I like that if they can be very dependent on themselves, you know, survive by themselves and have a lot of story behind them. I'm gonna say, for an example, Katniss Everdeen from The Hunger Games is the perfect female character because she just is. You know, I'm sure that every one of you will have read The Hunger Games, and if you haven't, you must. But she's a great example of a female protagonist, which I love. She's a strong personality. She has a great backstory. I love the way she acts about everything. everything, how she is as a character, how she helps the other characters, and just everything about it. I just love that, how you can just fall in love with characters in books, and the ones that just really stand out, the different ones as well, are really good. I'm not too picky about characters, to be honest, as long as they're very unique. That is the main aspect for me about a character that I always look for, because I think characters just have to be unique, they have to be interesting and exciting, they have to really drag you into the book, and definitely, as I keep saying, Katniss Everdeen is a great example of that. And then we have a final question, which is based on envy. What books would you most like to receive as a gift? Now, I'd like to receive any book as a gift, because I just appreciate a book as a gift so much. You know, the gift of reading is great, but also owning books and being given books by people is just great as well. I just thank the people that give me books so much, or just people that give me money as well. That is great. But for me, this answer is quite clear, and I'd have to say that any manga book I would really like to receive as a gift, because manga books are generally quite expensive for what they are. I can read them in under an hour, and I think that you do generally pay quite a high price for the amount of time and enjoyment you get out of them, so I think they should be cheaper. At the moment, if I want to buy manga books, I look at the used ones because they're a lot cheaper. On Amazon, there's really good used books, which are still in quite a good condition, but still for quite a low price. I would just love if someone could give me like a whole set of manga books, like all the Bleach books or something like that, because there's so many of them. There's like 50 something, which is just insane. I want them all, but I just can't afford them all right now, you know. That'll be like hundreds to get them all. So if someone could give me like a whole set of manga books, that would just be fabulous. I would just appreciate that so much. You know, if anyone wants to send me some manga books, I'm right here. And I just love manga books, but I don't like paying for them the full price, if that makes sense. I love them, but I don't want to pay the full price because I don't get the same enjoyment out of them. So definitely any manga book as a gift is greatly appreciated. Any book as a gift is also appreciated. So that was my version of the 7 Deadly Sins of Reading tag. Thank you so much to GuitarMilly for tagging me, and I just thought that I had to do this tag straight away because it looked like so much fun, and it certainly was. So don't forget to comment, rate, share and subscribe, and I'll see you all again later.